Sorry, I am going to, have you recorded to the cloud or do you usually record to your computer?
I do to the cloud.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've done both.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, I'm gonna start letting folks in.
thanks, Sage.
Hey Ed, how are you? I didn't say hello, so good to see you.
Hello, folks. It's so good to see you all. Hopefully you can all hear me. You do get muted on entry, so if you have questions during the session, you'll have to unmute. We are going to get started in about a minute just to make sure that everyone has a chance to get in. Heather, where's your Boise State stuff? Like, we're all repping it, and come on.
I know I should have worn my polo. I'm sorry, I'm unprepared. I always carry Boise State in my heart.
All right, well, it's a couple minutes after. I'm gonna hand it over to Roger to get us started.
Thank you, Sage. Hi, everyone. I am Roger Griffin. I am the Academic Advising Manager for the undergraduate programs. Right now, I'm working as the primary advisor for the UCore program. So some of you have met me. For others who have not, it's nice to meet you. We want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. This is really going to be more of a sort of informal type event, right? We want to make sure that as you are embarking on your next steps, that you are feeling that your questions are answered. You're feeling that this is an opportunity for you to engage with the program, to have any remaining concerns addressed as you start this fall. I know that this is sometimes a very nerve-wracking time for students, right? As we get ready to start a brand new program. And today we're going to have a mix of our undergraduate and our graduate students. And we're very privileged today to have Dr. Sinming Liu, who's going to join us. We're also privileged to have Mrs. Michelle Steffens, who is the program coordinator. We have Heather Ropalato, who is the manager for the recruitment team, undergraduate recruitment team. We have Janelle Wolf, who is our recruitment coach for the UCore program. We also have Mr. Edward Vasco, who is the director for cybersecurity at Boise State. And we have Mr. Joshua Tafalele. I hope I got it correct, Josh. Who is the manager for the recruitment team on the graduate side. And so between the diverse collection of skill sets and abilities that we have here today, we feel pretty confident that this will be a rewarding opportunity for you to not just engage with the program, but to have any remaining questions answered that you have at this time. We've had discussions, and I know that many of you have had questions about wanting to further dive into how this program will be able to connect you to your career aspirations. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed Shay. I'm sorry, Shay is on the call as well. I'm so sorry. Shay Hansen is our graduate recruiter. And I know she's done a fine job working with many of you to get you started for the program. So I apologize, Shay, for missing you. It's kind of hard sometimes with the windows. My apologies. But we're going to have some time today for you to ask those questions, right? And you have faculty here with Dr. Liu is really going to be able to demonstrate how the program connects the skill sets that you're going to learn academically, and then working with Ed Vasco to determine how this is going to help with your career. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off with a few slides. Advising myself and Sage are going to go through a few of the slides that are very important for us as students to consider before the fall term starts, okay? And one note I want to make, if you are missing any of the books or you have questions about books, you're not sure, you can email me and I'll send you the book list. I think I got most of you, but if I've missed anyone, I apologize and let me know, and just shoot me an email and I'll send you the list if you need it. I think Dr. Liu, you wanted to say something?
No, I'm good. Keep going.
Okay. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to dive right in. Sage and I are going to cover a couple important things that we want to remind you about, and then we'll turn it over to the program after that. So again, first and foremost, I know that this has been a challenging time for many of us, right? Going through the challenges of COVID-19, the economic challenges that have persisted with that. And I just want to applaud all of you because you're taking the next step, right? You're entering into a profession that is going to afford you a lot of opportunities, right? And especially to navigate these times. And technology and the concerns and challenges around technology are very real and very pertinent, right? And so this is a wonderful degree that we're fortunate to have started just recently. And the interest has been phenomenal. And I'm sure that all of you are going to have a really good time in this program. So here's a few things, a few reminders that we want to mention that will ensure that you have a strong semester start. The first things that we want to touch on is your classes will open on Monday, August 23rd. And so we've recently switched over from Blackboard to Canvas. And so Canvas is it's our learning management system. It's where all your classes will be housed. And if you ever have any questions about that, there's some resources that we have with the university that we can share with you. So if you're a student and you're not sure where to go, you can always reach out to advising and we will direct you to the online services to make sure that you get support. And I believe Sage was going to show that. Okay. And then now all of your assignments that you turn in, if you've never taken online classes, they all go through Canvas. So please do not email any assignments to your professor unless they ask you, just so that you don't lose those, right? And again, transitioning from on ground to online learning, if you've never done that, can be sort of a anxiety filled situation. If you ever have questions or you want to talk through something, you can reach out to advising. We're happy to support you. Many of us have had to make that transition ourselves, okay? Now, the courses do typically open up, every program's a little bit different, but they do typically open up a few days before. And so if you email our advising teams on the weekend, we won't be available, but we have out of office email chains that will go out. You'll get the chain and it'll tell you how to problem solve. And it'll provide you with contact to the OIT office, which is the technology office, and they can help you problem solve if you run into any challenges. So if you get stuck and you're not sure where to go, just shoot an email to one of the advisors that you know, and the response that you should get will be an out of office that displays how to problem solve, what to do, what are some of the common challenges, okay, and that should help you out. The other thing is you really want to go into your course early because you want to take time looking at the syllabi, you want to take time looking at the due dates and assignments, and remember every course is a little bit different, so it's very important to get familiar with this type of situation. The other thing is you access Canvas through My Boise State. So you go there into My Boise, and then there is a little icon with Canvas on it, and that's how you access your courses. One of the nice things that I like to do is I keep my Canvas or My Boise, my Canvas on my phone, and then I can see my classes. I get notifications when my professors are making annotations, and that's always good. Or maybe it's nerve-wracking if you're a little bit nervous about your paper. So either way, you're getting notified and you can check your grades and you stay up to date. And the nice thing too is you can set it to get notifications if you set the system, or you go in and you approve notifications, you can get notifications to come in to tell you, hey, your assignment's due. And that's really helpful, especially for many of us who are working, have families, or constantly on the go. Okay, so that's something I would recommend. If you run into challenges, please email your professors early. This is crucial. Remember, your professors, many of them are working in the field. They want you to succeed. They are here to really make sure that you have a good time in the program and that you have everything that you need to be successful. So if you run into a challenge, don't try to sort of shoulder that burden by yourself, right? You have advisors, you have program coordinators, you have faculty. Everyone wants to ensure your success. So reach out early so that we can support you, okay? And the other thing is you want to be aware of the drop dates. Please, 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 before you drop a class, check in with an advisor. Okay, if you're not able to get a hold of an advisor, reach out to our wonderful coaches. They will make sure they let us know and help you out, like if you feel more comfortable connecting with them, so that we can have a conversation with you and make sure that you're not going to have any repercussions from dropping a course, right? So let's have that discussion before you do that, okay? That's always a key step. And then you want to be aware of, as you get to the last day, make sure that you're paying attention to August 26th, because that is the last day to drop a class for a refund with the 7-week session, okay? And so again, the academic calendars are important. If you have trouble understanding that, you can reach out to us and we're happy to go through it with you, okay?
So as Roger mentioned, we have the academic calendar that is really important, and I am going to link that for you all in the chat right now. It's important to keep an eye on the academic calendar because we are very strict about deadlines here at Boise State. So we want to make sure that you are doing things in time with the university so that you don't get unnecessary fees. Speaking of fees, the fee payment deadline is this Saturday, the August 21st. If you have financial aid that has been awarded to you, that you should not need to worry about this fee payment deadline. However, if you are paying out of pocket, just know that you need to either pay your fees by this Saturday or opt into a payment plan. If you do not pay, a $50 late fee will be assessed for unpaid balances. You can enroll in a fee payment plan, and I will link instructions on how to enroll in that plan for those of you who are interested. If you're interested in the fee payment plan, it breaks your entire semester total into 3 equal payments that would be due August 25th, September 25th, and October 25th for the fall semester. They do charge $30 to opt into the plan, but they charge you just $10 each of those 3 months. So for those folks who may be paying out of pocket, 21st is an important deadline coming up.
And before we go forward, thank you for reminding me, Dr. Lou. I missed Karina, so I missed one more person. So and Karina's on my team. So Karina Sanchez is also joining us. I see you, Josh. She is she's going to be the academic advisor that's taking over UCORE, right? So the undergraduate students, Karina is going to be working with you. Her and I will be supporting you throughout the month of September. And then we anticipate that she's going to have a more active role in supporting undergraduate students around that time, okay? And then I want to talk about advising responsibilities, right? So this is advising and student relationship it's a collaborative relationship, right? We have to work together. And so part of this is understanding what the role of the advisor is and what the role of the student is, right? And so for advisors, our role is really to help you understand the university policies and regulations and programs and procedures, right? A lot of that stuff is sort of nuanced and can be a little bit tricky. And so that's where your advisor has some expertise and they can help you understand that, right? Especially with forms and things of that nature. The other thing is advisors are here to offer you advice, right, on your academic plans. The plan, you're the driver, right? You're the one deciding how you want to proceed. Advisors don't seek to persuade. We just want to give you information, and then we'll give you recommendations if you ask for it. But we want this to be a plan based on your needs, based on your individual personality and what you think is going to work for you. And then we're here to listen and be supportive, right? And then also, if you run into challenges, we're here to support you to get you back to where you want to be. But also, we're here to give you some congratulations when you're getting A's and 4.0s, right? We also like to share in that because we like to see your successes. And so, you know, that's one of the roles of our position as well. The other part is we all face challenges, right? We all face significant things that might develop. We all face situations in our life where we might just need someone to have a conversation with. It doesn't always have to be academic, right? You can reach out to your advisors. We're part of your support team. We want to be here to make sure that you feel heard, you feel valued, right? If you're not sure where to go with the institution, advisors are here to be that bridge, right? We're here to connect you with the supports. We're here to make sure that you have an enjoyable and wonderful experience at Boise State.
All right, so Roger talked a little bit about advisor responsibilities, but as a student here at Boise State, you really have a lot of autonomy and responsibilities yourself. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those. I really want you to take initiative and contact your advisor each semester, especially if you have mandatory advising. We do like to make sure that students are on track. Make sure that if you need to make changes to your plan at all, we're communicating those needs, and we get to make sure that you have a plan that is best suited for your needs. You also need to keep your advisor informed about changes to your academic plan. If you've dropped a class, if you're planning on adding additional class, it helps us so that we can update your degree plan to make sure that you have the most current plan up to date as possible and make sure that you're still on track for graduation. And please keep us informed if you have any health or financial or resources within the university, and then also just be that person that can talk about things with you and be there for support. We also want you to take an active role in your educational experience. This is your education. So we want you to, take it by the reins and feel free to, be the active participant. In an online setting, if you were in a in-person class, if you had a question, you would just raise your hand, right? And the professor would call on you. In an online course, you're sending an email, and it can be a little intimidating at first, but really please reach out to your professors, reach out to your advisors. Please let us know if you have questions. Communicate with your instructors. Instead of raising your hand in the class, you have to send the email, and that's okay. We want to hear from you. So please communicate early and often as much as possible. Part of that communication piece is checking your Bronco mail often. This will be the email that your professors and your advisors will reach out to moving forward. So it is important to check your Bronco mail. You can set up forwarding to another email. I know if you're like me, you have 4 different emails. I get that. So please, if you're not going to check your Bronco mail, please set up email forwarding to whatever inbox you do regularly check, and also make sure that that forwarding is working still. So I would probably check, at least once a month to make sure that all those forwards are happening. Sometimes when the university does updates, it can break. So please check on that. And then the last thing is just share your successes and ask questions. We love to hear about what you're learning in the program, and if you're able to apply it at your current place of work or a project that you're working on. We want to share that with the rest of the program, and we want to, hear your questions that can make us better educators as well.
Okay, and with that being said, we're going to, we've gotten the stuff that sort of the boring stuff out of the way, right? So let's get to the exciting stuff, to the reason that you're here, and we're going to turn it over to the program with Dr. Lou and Michelle and Edward, and so we'll hand it off to you all, and so the advising will sit back now and enjoy the show.
All right, thanks, Roger. I want to make sure that we get to some of this as quickly as we can, so we leave a bunch of time for question at the end. I think that will be the most useful things for the student who is participating in the session. So just a quick outline on the top box for the undergraduate core curriculum is the elective or technical credit hour, depending on whether you are coming into the BS or the BAS pathway. That is where your electives can go, and also the technical credit hour can go in terms of classes that you have completed as your community college or your AAS degree. So, but I'll quickly go to the orange boxes. These are the left orange boxes are the required classes. So the cyber system thinking is where you're going to learn about system thinking and how things are connected in the cyber world. In project management and risk management, risk management is where you're going to learn about how to manage risks, and the hands-on activity will basically be about writing risk management report and how do you do the evaluation. Maybe give away the risk, handle it, spend money, solve the problem, or pass the problem to someone else. again, with any type of cyber project, is you got to know how to manage a project, even though that you might be starting out as an entry-level person, but knowing how things works could potentially help you in your career down the road. And the next class is information assurance and critical thinking. This class is where you're going to learn about the fundamental of cybersecurity and work on a project where you're going to develop a cybersecurity program for a company. And offensive security, defensive, recovery, and forensic, next 3 classes is where you're going to get a lot of hands-on activity using virtual machine to learn some skill sets related to offensive, defensive, and recovery and forensic. Then the next 2 classes related to Network Plus and Security Plus, that is where we're going to prepare you for the Network Plus, CompTIA Network Plus, and the Security Plus certification. There are options available that we have set up where you can go get your own certification, and those credit hours can be awarded to you for a processing fee of $20 to get it to the university system. And then capstone classes is basically aligned with the project management classes where you will be working on an industry sponsor project. And then a bunch of 1 credit hour classes where you're going to get to pick and choose what is it that you want to take. 1 credit hour classes, if you wanted to be more applied, you can work on applied cybersecurity, IoT architecture, AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning 1 credit hour classes. Or you say that you want to stay on non-technical, more on management side, there's a potential you can go for the cyber business and regulatory 1 credit hour class or cyber risk assessment. And then the last option is based on the cyber threat intelligence and cyber resilient design. Resilient design is about the basic of how do you design a resilient system and what are the factors that you should consider. And threat intelligence is about using information to make better decision on where you should be defending, or what threat are what are the things that potentially coming for you. So again, those who have project, whether it could be specific technical project, or it could be writing project, or it could be video project that you're going to be working on. So a lot of these classes are still being built, and as you can hopefully realize that all this program basically built in the last 12 months during pandemic. We are doing the best we can with the industry professional, cybersecurity professional are developing these classes. Okay, let's go to the next one. And then this is the core program. If you sign up for the core program, it's 30 credit hour, the 2 credit hour, 18 and 10. So cyber essential, where you got to think about what other skill sets that you want to build as part of your career. And if you are pivoting your career, what is it that you think those 1 to 3 credit hour classes that will benefit you the most? And then choose a couple of tracks. And right now you have to stay within a couple of tracks. I am in the process of relaxing that. There are 27 credit hour. You just need to pick 18 if I get done with the paperwork, but it might be a year from now before that is valid. And then you get to choose between whether you want to go teach a class, obtain a certification, or pick up a project and complete a project as the last 2 credit hour. So especially grad student, and grad student is really career specific on what you want to get into. And if you want to talk more, please reach out to me, okay? I'll be more than happy to sit down with you to talk to it with you, because a grad student is a little different compared to undergrad, okay? Next. So, a piece of advice from the grand Pupa, be ready to learn, be teachable, be professional, and again, be flexible, have a good attitude too. I want you to work hard, but also work smart. If you spin your wheel on something for hours at a time, there is probably something not right. You probably didn't understand a specific thing, and don't spend on the wheel, okay? There will be rough spots. Let us know if something isn't working, and ask a lot of questions, because these are 7-week session courses. 7-week session is gonna go by in no time. So there's no time to waste. If there is something that you truly are confused about, ask a question, send an email, put a phone call too. Okay, we'll be more than happy to help you as much as we possibly can. Remember, we still want you to work hard. Work hard doesn't mean that we're going to give you all the answer, but we will lead you to the answer. Okay, so what we really want you to do is find a combination of people, process, and technology that will build a more safer and secure, whether it's an organization, system, whatever that you're working on. Okay, it's hard work. There's no silver bullet. Next. Am I done? One more thing that I want to share with you before Ed take over is some of the skill sets. In addition to the classes, you got to think about what is it that you can do to build up your skill sets too. Okay, go participate in some of those online seminar, free seminar, cyber training, cyber competition, or even capture the flags. Okay, and there is one, the first one, the nicechallenge.com. That one is free, but I have to make arrangement for you to participate. If you go to immersive lab, right? You can search for immersive lab. There's a .com website too. That one is free too. And there are a lot of different skill sets, from management skill sets to technical skill sets too. Okay, just keep learning. And then there's a bunch, a whole list at the NIST.gov. And I think Roger and also Sage will share their slides with you to make sure that you get all this link without having to worry about charting it down. I think the next one should be Ed, in terms of things that we are working on at the university. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dr. Liu. Hi, everybody. I'm Ed Vasco. Those of you who have not had a chance to connect with me, I'm the director for the Institute for Pervasive Cybersecurity here at Boise State. And I work right alongside Dr. Liu and all of the online advisors and success coaches and everybody else, and our faculty as well. My career actually spans 30 years in the cybersecurity industry. And so I view what we're doing here with the core program as highly instrumental to helping yourselves from a career perspective, but just as important as helping the nation produce great workforce to go defend our critical data and critical infrastructure. I'm available if you have any sort of questions on career, on workforce, on any sort of skill set development, and whatever other areas that you might be interested in from an industry standpoint. I also want to make certain we touched on the fact that there were some key things that are within Boise State that are being built within the Institute that are available for you as students within the core program to come and use, to volunteer time if you're here in the Boise area. And as we continue to build out these programs and these platforms, to realize that we have a number of different pathways for you to be successful. We have a number of cyber ranges. As much as I tend not to like that term too much anymore because it's overused, we are in the process of building out specific kinds of platforms that you can use to build up your cyber skill set and cyber competency that's going to go hand in hand with the great curriculum and knowledge that's going to be imparted to you by our faculty and staff. We have a specific area of we're building out a virtual city that will allow you to come in on a blue team side and help defend various kinds of simulated clients. Those clients will range from doctors' offices, retailers, manufacturers, utility companies, and we'll do so using various toolkits like the ones available at Security Onion, and also using threat intelligence tools like MISP. I've given the URLs so you can get some pre-work going on there as well. Our virtual cities, as I mentioned, are going to be comprised of both service providers, which are going to be kind of a virtualized security operations center, where you'll be able to work as a cyber analyst or a cyber engineer, again, protecting various client-based environments from different attackers. We also have received some very specific funding from the state of Idaho to help build out the first real-world live fire competency development platform that we call the Cyberdome. And that is being built as we speak. We're intending to have internships available later this semester for cyber analysts to come on in and start getting hands-on training in specific kinds of platforms. And we will be engaging with many of our communities around the state of Idaho to do real-world monitoring, detection, and response services to them to help reduce their risk. And in doing so, give you some real-world competency development opportunities to put on your resume as you're going out into the market and getting jobs. Just be aware that we've got great resources that are available outside of Boise State, and we've got great opportunities inside Boise State for you from a skill set and a knowledge development perspective. Next slide. I know that many of you have had questions about career and what can you do and what's the next thing. And so I kind of put my thinking hat on and wanted to give you a story. And I want to leverage this story as an opportunity to kind of express to you all the opportunities to you as you're developing up your career and getting out there and starting your careers or starting over your careers in the cyber field. And I like to do that by kind of giving you a before and after example in terms of the impacts that are awaiting you and the opportunities that are awaiting you in your career. And so this particular story starts with an example of an early penetration test that I happened to run myself back in the beginning of my career. And I'm going to show you some of the examples of what happens. This was a company that brought us on in to do some work and some examination of their digitized X-ray and imaging systems. And so, whoops, what happened to slides? They just went away. Anyway, I'll continue to tell the story while we get the slides back up. The organization brought us on in to do an examination of their environment. And you see here a full body X-ray. I'm going to give you an example. If we just do one click of the next slide, does anybody happen to see what the difference is? Oh, they're going to show me. Okay. One click.
Sorry, Ed.
So actually, I'll just give this away since we're running a little short on time. We want to get to Q&A. What we were able to do with this particular system was we were able to go in and actually give somebody cancer through this digitized X-ray system. We were able to backdate the actual imagery of the environment to the same date and time after we altered the X-ray, and we added these particular cancerous markers to kind of show the manufacturer of this system that their environment wasn't very secure. Translate that not necessarily on the red team penetration test side, but instead what I ask you to think about is translating this to how you would defend this environment. And that's actually the opportunity in front of you from a career perspective. The types of systems and the types of environments that you're going to be interacting with in your career are a huge number. Not just operating systems, not just networks, but applications that have real world impact like this, where attackers are trying to create Medicare fraud. They're trying to create opportunities to damage people's lives. And by being part of this particular career path in cyber operations, each and every one of you have an opportunity to go in and help defend systems like this against attackers who are looking to do harm to individuals, to the medical field, to manufacturing, to retail. You pick the industry, and I can assure you the attacks are pervasive, and the needs for you as an individual coming in to be a part of this community are just as pervasive. So it's just one example of many that exist that I happen to have in my 30-year career. I want to show this to you because, again, the opportunities for fraud and the opportunities for personal impact are huge. And you coming into this field, really, you're going to be standing in the front line, helping organizations, helping people, and defending the critical data and critical infrastructure of our country. Next slide. So trying to answer one of the key questions, why should you pursue a career in cyber? I'm not going to read these off. I think these are important key bullets to keep in mind. I always like to start kind of with the last bullet with the little, no guarantee, but in my 30-year career, I have never had a day of unemployment. Just as an example, the need is so great, the opportunities are so vast that coming into this field, you are not only going to be a part of a community where you get to serve individuals, you get to serve the nation and the companies you work for, but I don't want to say it's fully recession proof, but it certainly has been recession proof for the past 30 years. And every single trend points to the fact that we're going to continue to see huge amounts of career growth in front of you. The other thing that I always like to emphasize is the need for constant learning. Every single day I wake up, I'm constantly reading, news articles, and finding out what's going on in the world. And there's always something new to learn. So if you love learning, you should be a part of the cyber industry. I like to say you like to enjoy breaking things. Really what that means is that you like to understand how things work. One of the key areas that I really appreciate about CORE is the approach that Dr. Liu is taking around cyber systems-based thinking and being able to understand how systems work from every single possible aspect, from a personnel perspective, from a process perspective, and then deep inside the technology. So understanding all that, and then understanding how the bad people and how adversaries think about breaking systems, that's all critical to a career in cyber. Next slide. So what can you do with a degree? Well, our goal is to help you get the knowledge and skills that you need to go be successful. And in getting those knowledge and skills, it's also to make certain that we're providing you opportunities to be introduced to potential employers around the nation. But some areas that I want to emphasize would be kind of the first and foremost, cyber analysts and cyber engineers are in huge demand right now. But a couple of areas that I'd ask you to think about that may come to mind if you've been in the cyber industry at all and you're going into, let's say, the graduate program, or you're pivoting into this field for the first time. And that is that there are huge areas of opportunity for entrepreneurship and for solving problems that exist throughout the cyber industry. I speak as a 5-time entrepreneur myself saying that. And also, if you look to go beyond just the cyber realm, there are huge opportunities in law, because one area that continues to kind of drag behind technology advancement and cyber advancement is legal impact. So if you want to look beyond even the core program and you want to get another secondary degree or post-bac degree, legal and law field is certainly a huge growing area. Risk management is kind of one of those critical areas to help align business risk and technology risk, and helping C-level executives, CEOs and COOs understand where and why they should or should not be making the risk decisions they're trying to make, and the types of impacts that the our cyber world has upon whatever the business is. Next slide. Dr. Liu touched on this. I'm just going to add my bit of flavor to this. What makes a good cyber professional? Being curious, constantly trying to understand, why does it work this way? How does it work this way? That lifelong learning is going to pay off. And then the willingness to turn things upside down, meaning, look for ways that the bad person and adversaries can attack, and how do we defend against those attacks? Next slide. A couple of other key elements. We talked about resources. In your off hours, if you're going to be doing a lot of great work, but if you want to look at the history of some of our profession, I highly recommend this particular book, The Cuckoo's Egg by Cliff Stoll. It actually talks to some of the key elements that I've described here. Having a good work ethic, having the ability to be a lifelong learner. This is actually something that started in the Cliff happened to come across a particular hacker back in the 90s, and it takes you on the journey that he went through, discovering this attacker and how this came about, and the methods and approaches that he used to do so still apply today. The other three elements I'd leave you with probably is a final point around the solid ethical core. I can speak to many different war stories I have in my career where I've actually had the opportunity to move as much money as I ever wanted to anywhere in the world because of the types of systems that we uncovered in trying to help different banks. I've had the opportunity to be able to do that and walk away clean. And it's through that solid ethical core that makes me stop from doing that. And I think that that's really the key thing. That's what differentiates those of us who are looking to do this as a career versus the criminals that we're trying to thwart, is the fact that we think like them but act differently, and we act differently through the fact that we try to do good instead of trying to do bad. So I think that's the last slide. Yep, there you go. What questions? Hopefully that's been of help. And again, if you have any sort of questions for us as a group, throw them on in and throw them into the chat, and we're here to help you. Sage, I'm going to give it back over to you, I believe, right?
Yeah, thanks, Ed. And I apologize for the inconvenience. My internet dropped off, so
no worries.
Face of the earth. I guess if you and Siming and Michelle wanted to talk a little bit about why you created this program and why you believe it's different than all the other cyber programs out there.
Right. Before we do that, how about let's see whether there's any question. No question?
Are we going to get those links?
Yep.
Yes.
We can. Yeah, we can. Yep, Shannon, we can export all those links, and when we email it out, you can have them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other question?
Anybody feeling nervous about getting started? You can use the little emojis if you want to in the corner.
Don't worry, if you're nervous, you're not the only one. I am too. This is my year number 19, okay? Academic year number 19, so. No question?
I think, Mark, do you have a question?
I was going to ask.
I'm just
but
excited. I don't
remember.
really have any particular question. I'm already doing some wargaming where I'm at. So I'm really excited to hear about the virtual city thing and basically playing defense and trying to figure out how, you know, all the little holes that are in all of our systems and how to defend against them. It just sounds awesome. Sounds perfect.
That's good.
Oh, sorry, Siming. I was going to say other Mark T. It sounded like you had a question.
I did, but when I was going to start asking, I forgot.
No worries. If it comes back to you, let us know.
Anyone?
Or I have a question.
Go.
So if you don't have a computer that works for the program, is there any like funding or scholarships available for that?
Right now, we don't have that yet. So what, I think more specifically, what classes are you taking right now?
I'm taking the entry level ones, like the CPS 301.
Okay, you're not, any computer that you have right now, as long as you can access Google Doc and also the Excel and Word, it'll be fine for CPS 301. So
Okay.
There's no worry right now. And if you really in need of something, and we can probably find an old computer that let you use it for a little bit. If there is ever needed, we'll be able to find a way to help you out in any way. If you're in the local area, assuming you're in the local area.
Yeah, I live on campus. Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, good. Anyone? All right. I will answer Shay's prompt and question. And why are we doing what we are doing here? Is because a lot of this journey started in 2017 when INL basically asked in terms of, hey, the curriculum doesn't seem to match up with some of the workforce out there. And a lot of the curriculum answer that respond to the industry or INL, the national lab, basically the workforce industry is always seems to be responding with engineering or computer science degree. And a lot of cybersecurity type of job is not about engineering or computer science degree. It is finding the optimum interaction between people, process, and technology to help secure a system, a company, an organization, or anything that you're trying to secure. So that is when we go down this pathway of that not designing a cybersecurity program for an engineering and computer science student is specifically for someone that really interested in cyber, and also having all those elective credit hour if you wanted to attempt other area that would really interest you and made it part of the degree program. So you think about people, process, and technology. If you have the credit hour, elective credit hour left, you can sign up for engineering and computer science minor, and you can sign up for IT management or a process supply chain management type of classes, a business classes, cyber business operation, or you could sign up for how to deal with people. And if you're interested in criminal justice, so there's criminal justice or even anthropology and psychology classes that you can sign up. So that's kind of like the quick summary or origin of way and why we got what we got for that reason. And we've been building it at a breakneck speed. And you got to thank all your instructor, all the cybersecurity professional who has dedicated so much of their time in building the classes that you are going to start taking, enrolling in, or starting in a few days. Anyone else want to add anything? Go for it.
Looks like you got the easy class for the first one.
So this class is more about basically how to fight and less about like overall general concepts is basically what I'm getting out of it.
Which class?
The whole program, not necessarily one class.
The whole program, if you look at all the classes, whether it's the BS program or the graduate program, right, is having the opportunity for anyone and everyone to pivot their career. And if you look at the undergraduate program, right, there are a lot of classes that you're going to be able to learn a lot of very different type of skill sets.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anyone?
Is there going to be any tutoring available in case we run into issues maybe later on in the quarter?
The first line of contact will be your instructor, okay? And don't be shy, reach out to your instructor if an instructor is supposed to be able to help you out. It's because they are not worrying about teaching, because all your learning content are on Canvas, you access to Canvas. If you have any trouble at all, reach out to your instructor as soon as possible and set out a time to talk to them or email them, okay? And then if things still hasn't been resolved, and make sure you reach out to Michelle, and we will align. And if you still need help, we will see what we could do from there. Okay, does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, remember that especially the students on the group, and if you are looking for internship and looking for job soon, and making sure that you do a good job and in the classes, because all these are cybersecurity professionals, you never know who might have a job offer that they can reach out. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Work as hard as you possibly can. Where's Heather? Heather was able to get them going in a bit ago.
Well, I was going to say too, you could set up study groups together. I think that comes about kind of organically in the program too. So
Yep.
we're obviously always helpful, but if you ever want to reach out, you're going to get to know each other really well over the next couple of, depending on how long you're in the program or how long before you graduate, you'll get to know each other really well too.
Yep. My advice is, if whatever core classes that you're in, pay attention to the first introductory discussion board. You might pick out somebody that you wanted to be in a study group, because this is an online program, you know, and you have to remember that a BSU student, you do have access to Zoom, university Zoom account. You could set up Zoom call yourself. You don't have to do things on your own. You do have access to it and set up call and have study session, virtual study session. You will be able to do that. Remember, the last 18 months proven to us we can do this. And now is we crazy enough to build this and you crazy enough to sign up. And I think we're going to enjoy this together. If you think you're nervous, tell me about it. I have to work with 13 adjunct instructor to get the whole program going in this fall semester. So no stress at all. But my promise is this: if you need to talk to me, I'll drop everything to make sure I spend a few minutes with you talking to you and figure out what is your challenges, okay?
Sinming, I have I know as we're talking with many of the students, one of the common questions, and I think sometimes we're in a big setting, it can be a bit intimidating, is that many of our students are looking at transitions, right? They're making a transition into a new career, they have an interest. And so do you, Ed or Michelle, have a recommendation as to, let's say someone's trying to navigate what their next step is going to be in terms of exploring that interest, trying to make sure that they can identify, I guess, trainings or specific certifications or industry specific items to help them build that plan, right? And I think that tends to be a question for many students is, I'm interested in this particular thing. Every student's different, right? How do I start that roadmap to get there? I think that is a common question that I encounter. And I would likely say that maybe Sage encounters that as well, and Janelle and Shay as well. But I would say, that tends to be a common question among the students. I don't know if you have any advice on that.
Yeah, definitely. I would say there are a couple of key avenues that come to mind as you're getting exposed to the program and getting exposed to the career opportunities and so forth. First and foremost, keep in mind, one of the key advantages of this, of CORE, of this program, as Dr. Liu and I and others were kind of building and thinking about things, was the use of industry leaders from an adjunct standpoint. One of the things that every single industry leader that I talk to in my network, when we start describing what we're doing at Boise State, they all to a T have said, when can I help and how can I help? So there's this growing opportunity of people who have been in chief information security or chief security engineering or whatever the case may be. They've been in a particular lead or high advanced role within cybersecurity programs that are either adjuncting for us now or want to. So this is where I'm saying start with potentially looking to your own instructors, and asking them for particular advice. They're going to be very open and very receptive to working with you. The second key avenue is, besides, Dr. Liu or anybody else in the program would be, I would say, don't hesitate to reach out to myself. The Institute, one of the things that we're doing specifically at the Institute is helping align industry partners who are looking to help, through different funding avenues, fund faculty, fund projects at Boise State, and in doing that, creating funnels of opportunity for you all to be able to go on out and start your careers. Again, no guarantees this, but I think by bringing to bear the industry connections wherever and however possible, we're trying to make certain that you have as broad an opportunity to get exposed to different different markets, different industries, and increase your professional network so that you can go on out and begin or expand your career.
I will add that if you're interested in the technical, for example, from an IT type of perspective, right? Go get any entry level IT job to get your leg in, okay? Or you could be interested in organization that potentially doing a lot of consulting work on risk assessment and risk management. Get an intern job, and wherever the opportunity, you may never know where it's going to lead you. So get in the degree program and get your hands and learn as much as you can wherever, and be prepared, because you never know when the next opportunity is going to come. And there will always be internship if we found out, like, for example, some of the instructor or local company or INL share, hey, we are in the process of posting internship available. We will be sure to share them with you. Lately, a lot of national lab internship has been all online. So there's an opportunity for you to participating in any way possible. You don't have to be at the physical location. So, and also the Cyberdome is being built up. We will be in the process. We will be hiring an undergraduate type of intern. And if guess what happened when we release an email and there's a potential, we're going to check with this particular instructor on the classes that you have taken, and have you been the work attitude class, and is really important, and have a positive class attitude. And in anything that you do, it will help. Because cybersecurity at the end of the day is about working with people, work with people and be professional, and just be nice.
I like the fact that Shannon is multitasking.
I get back to work.
Understood.
I understood. Yeah. Anyone else got any question? If you got any questions, just drop us an email, okay?
Just to add something for 5 seconds here, in case anyone is interested down the road and looking at the grad program, please understand it is never too early to inquire about that. You have Shay Hanson, Sing Ming, Roger, Sage, Stephens, Michelle, sorry, and Edward as well, Edward Vasco, to kind of bounce ideas off. All right, that's it.
Thank you, everybody. We have recorded this session. We will be sending.
I think Sage was saying that we were recording it and we'll be sharing it out. So everyone have a good rest of the day.
Sending it out in an email along with those.
Aloha.
All right. Bye, everyone.